Once upon a time, in a cozy little cottage nestled at the edge of a quiet village, there lived a tiny, fluffy kitten named Whiskers. Whiskers was not an ordinary kitten. He had a heart full of wanderlust and a curious spirit that couldn't be tamed. While his siblings were content to play in the sun-dappled garden and chase butterflies, Whiskers dreamed of far-off adventures and distant lands. One bright and sunny morning, Whiskers woke up with an unusual feeling of restlessness. His blue-green eyes sparkled with anticipation as he gazed out the window at the world beyond the cottage. He had heard tales of the great big world from the older cats in the village, stories of towering trees, vast meadows, and shimmering lakes. His heart ached to see it all for himself. Whiskers waited until the cottage was quiet and everyone was napping. With a careful leap, he slipped out of the open window, landing gracefully on the lush green grass below. His tiny paws barely made a sound as he began his grand adventure. The world outside was more magnificent than Whiskers could have ever imagined. He scampered through meadows painted with wildflowers and hid among the tall, whispering grass. He climbed trees and pounced on fallen leaves, his tail twitching with delight. Every new scent, sound, and sensation filled him with wonder. As the day turned to dusk, Whiskers found himself at the edge of a dense, mysterious forest. The ancient trees stood like silent sentinels, their branches reaching for the heavens. Whiskers, undeterred by the darkness within, ventured deeper into the woods. The forest was alive with the chatter of nocturnal creatures and the soft glow of fireflies. Soon, Whiskers stumbled upon a gentle brook that glistened under the moonlight. He leaned over to take a drink, his reflection shimmering in the clear water. But as he peered closer, he noticed another pair of eyes looking back at him. It was a wise old owl perched on a nearby branch. "Lost, are you, little one?" hooted the owl. Whiskers nodded and admitted, "I suppose I am." The owl blinked its large, round eyes and said, "Well then, perhaps I can help you find your way home. But first, let me tell you a secret. The true adventure lies not in how far you wander, but in the friends you make along the way." Whiskers took the owl's advice to heart. He bid the wise owl farewell and retraced his steps through the dark forest, back to the meadows and the familiar scent of the cottage. With each step, he thought about the wonderful adventures he had experienced and the kind creatures he had met. When Whiskers finally returned to the cottage, he slipped back through the window, just as quietly as he had left. He curled up in his cozy spot and fell into a deep, contented sleep, dreaming of the wide world beyond. In the days that followed, Whiskers still yearned for adventure, but he also cherished the love and warmth of his family and the simple pleasures of home. And so, Whiskers the wandering kitten became known as Whiskers the Wise, for he had discovered that the greatest adventures were the ones that led him back to the place where he belonged, surrounded by those who loved him.